did the intro course type of thing. So you would start off and you would go like, I'll say to you, your shirt is green.
Yeah.
And then you say something back to me like, your shirt is white. Something descriptive like that.
Right.
And we would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
Till then, eventually we'd be so, that kind of like quiets the mind or whatever. And then the raw emotions that come up would taint what we're saying.
Right.
So then you almost sometimes get shouting matches.
Yeah.
Your shirt is green and different stuff like that.
So you still carry on with whatever you're saying is sort of banal and surface level,
Yeah.
but
then it
gets
becomes
infected
colored.
with
It becomes colored by the emotions that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
Some people break down crying and shit. like, your jumper is green. Ah. But I'm watching it and I'm like, this is absolute madness. This is crazy. This is insane to me. And then I go up there and I start sniffling. I'm up there like, your belt is blue.
And welcome to Three Speech Podcast. We're back, baby. The unstructured, no topics podcast with me, Mr. Hate Speech. Well, formerly Mr. Hate Speech, now Mr. Controlled Opposition. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen to the government and what they're saying and collaborate with them. And also, we've got behind the desk the producer extraordinaire, the
Vanilla Gorilla.
It's Mooch.
How are you? You good?
And over this direction, we got Mr. Bajan Sensation.
AKA Bird Gang.
And here we are. We've started. Let's meet on my bit.
How are you guys? You good?
I'm good. I'm feeling great.
You're feeling fine?
Yeah, I'm feeling energetic.
Wow. This is a pod first.
Yeah.
Have you had your Alvance or have you?
No, actually, I got diagnosed last week.
What with? What with this time?
ADHD.
Oh, I'm so glad you said ADHD.
Yeah, that sounded like it was going to come out with AIDS.
Nah, ADHD.
AIDS-AHD.
No.
High definition AIDS lesions.
Have you got your medication now?
No, not yet. I got to do some blood tests first.
Blood test?
For ADHD?
That's definitely AIDS.
No, blood tests and ECG.
Oh, to see if your heart is up to it.
Yeah.
Because you're old.
Oh, so the Elvance, because it affects your heart.
Yeah,
all of them. It's not, well, they don't pick them yet.
Speed.
There's
meth will fuck up with your heart.
Yeah.
Elvance, there's Contra something. There's like several different ones you could get.
And they're all like a sort of pharmaceutical grade speed you get off the NHS. And people are like, oh, why so many people got ADHD? It's because you're giving them cocaine. You're giving them prescription cocaine for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting my
make sure you get over to the NHS because it's £9.50 instead of £120 every time you need it.
Yeah, she took my doctor's address and stuff. So I think that's why she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or asked for it.
Make sure you do. Well, I look forward to the exciting NICO, the new NICO.
But no, that's not why I'm energetic today. I actually tried what DARIUS said about drinking water. I feel more, I feel more energetic. I clearly was not drinking enough water before.
Yeah.
So now I've started drinking water and I feel better.
Yeah. We're human bodies like what, 70% water.
Yeah.
But then I heard somebody say like they were 40%, they got their fat and they got their fat measured and they're 40% fat. So they're 70% water, 40% fat, which means they're 110% already before they've even got any bones.
Yeah, well, I think if you look down at what a cell is made up of, the majority of that is water, whether that's fat or muscle.
Fat is mostly fat. That's where it gets its name from. Not called water cells. Not like, oh, you've put on a bit of water.
Well, water weight.
There's water weight you can get.
Water retention.
Yeah.
But I don't think 70% of us is actually just liquid water. It's not like we're just a shell and then up to here is just sloshing water.
No, but it's in amongst us.
Yeah, in amongst us. It's like it's some sort of horror movie.
We're a sponge.
But water makes you pee more.
Whoa, we are learning.
I am being a lot, but
Should this go out in the Science Channel?
this is a very scientific podcast.
Oh,
Mad, but I've been eating loads and I've been shitting more.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. All of this stuff.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Talking of podcasts, Nico, you're saying there's some true crime.
Yes, there is the Serial podcast, which was about this guy who got done for murder, killing his girlfriend. But now, 23 years later, because of the podcast and evidence they uncovered, he's now free at 41.
Oh, they're having a retrial. So the
thing was quashed.
yeah, so it's
Conviction was quashed.
there's got to be a retrial. The conviction was quashed, but he still needs to be tried.
No, they have new suspects, I believe.
Let me check.
think.
Let me just Google this.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the podcast or anything. I just saw a headline.
Well, in the car earlier, I was listening to them talking about this podcast and all the rest of it. And apparently, true crime podcast. That was Serial was one of the first.
Yeah.
One
That
of
was
the first ones.
popular one. Yeah.
First popular true crime podcast. Now there's loads of them, and a lot of them are finding out, digging up new evidence and overturning previous convictions and getting new convictions for people.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually becoming a substantial force in the sort of criminal justice world.
Yeah. There's one called Something Is Happening or Why Is This Happening, which was pretty good as well.
Right.
I actually listened to that one.
That'd be a good title for this podcast.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. Here we go. Adnan said, conviction overturned in Serial podcast murder case. So a US judge has quashed a Baltimore man's murder conviction in a case that spawned hit true crime podcast Serial. So he was 18 when he was sentenced to life in prison for the death of his ex-girlfriend, whose body was found buried in the woods in 1999.
Why do people keep burying bodies in the woods? That's the first place I would look.
Well, where would you bury a body? Apparently, if you leave them in the jungle, they get like 6 months. They're just gone.
Yeah, I know, but getting it to the jungle if you are in Tunbridge Wells is tricky.
Have you seen Weekend at Bernie's? You prop them up on the plane seat and would you like some salted nuts? Yes, I would. Easy.
Pigs. You feed them to pigs,
Feed them to pigs.
or you bury it somewhere up, like in the open,
Why in the open?
because they will go looking for it in the woods.
They might look for it. If they see a big fucking pile, a big mound on the golf course, they might look in the golf course as well.
Yeah.
With your footprints leading out there.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, exactly. Hiding in plain sight.
So just leave it in a shopping trolley in the car park.
Yeah.
But
And people will think maybe that's a scarecrow or something. Or
well, and
that's
some people ate the bodies. Jeffrey Dahmer, I think, ate the bodies. Did he eat the bodies? Was it him?
He ate bits, no?
Yeah, not the whole body. That's too much. It's 70% water.
He drank them.
Yeah.
No, it's mad. Like you would go hiding it in plain sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not the woods for sure.
Why?
Because everyone looks in the woods.
don't think-
Everybody gets found. Every Netflix documentary,
Yeah.
the body is found in the woods.
Well, don't you want a Netflix documentary?
No.
Don't you want to be on Netflix?
I don't want to be
You don't want
found,
that
though.
credit.
But I'm not killing anybody to begin with. But I wouldn't go over the woods.
So it's not saying on this whether there's going to be a retrial. But those Netflix documentaries, man, like I watched The Staircase. I didn't watch it to the end. It was one of those ones where I reckon this guy actually did it. But the other one, the famous one, what's the one, they did two of them. The other murder one where he was supposed to have burnt the woman and he was kind of a sort of thick redneck guy.
Making a murderer.
Yeah.
Making a murderer. Yeah, man, I watched that and it's like, they don't half fucking string it out. Each episode's like an hour long and they're just like, and it goes on for like, I'm not joking, about like 50 episodes. If you're a juror in the actual trial, it would be quicker than that. And probably, you know what I mean? It's like, I thought TV was supposed to speed things up.
I like the one, what's it called? The Jinx. That was good.
I haven't seen that one. What's
Yeah,
that
that's
one
really
about?
good. Robert Durst, this millionaire guy, linked to 3 murders.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they don't have enough evidence to pin him.
right.
But yeah, the way it's done is absolutely brilliant. It's really good.
There's some interesting sort of true possible sketchy crime things out there. Like, you know, who's that guy, the actor? Christopher Walken. So he's sort of semi-implicated in the death. He was out on a yacht with like some rich guy, and the rich guy's wife or girlfriend drowned, like fell off.
Yeah, the boat.
The boat.
Well, that was a boat, probably.
Into the sea, which she couldn't live in, even though she's 70% water.
Yeah, I know. 30% of her drowned.
Yeah, you think you'd be at home in something that makes up your cells.
But who else was
swim?
Me, I can swim. Yeah, not
Properly?
not really well.
properly?
Actually, one time when I was in Thailand for like a month, I got really good at swimming because I was swimming every day. I could just swim and swim and swim. You know how that is the same with running? Like you start running,
I think
you just
it's
get out
called
of breath.
fitness. You've got improved
I got fitness.
But you doing the correct technique and breathing properly?
Yeah, I wasn't holding my breath till I got back to the beach.
No, I mean like some people bring their head up
Yeah.
to get here, but you're actually supposed to turn
Oh,
to
you
the
put it on
side.
the side, yeah. I mean, I don't
Were
know
you doing
how
that?
I don't know how perfect my technique was, but I could just keep going.
Look,
going forever.
his neck is probably quite high above water.
Yeah.
I imagine when you're swimming because you're quite a long person.
Yeah. Oh, a mad thing happened to me. So, like, you know, me and my mate, we're going back like 20 years. We're in Thailand and we rented mopeds. It was $1 a day. That's how long ago it was. So I had my shorts. I had the moped key in my shorts when we went to the beach, and I swam out. And I came back and I was like, fuck, the keys come out of my pocket. I've lost the key for the moped. And you know they're going to screw you. They hold your passport. You know they're going to be like, oh, now we need $100 to get a new key or whatever, even though they probably got one in a shoebox out the back. But and it was Sairi Beach on Koh Tao, on this huge, really, really wide beach. And the next morning so I left my moped there, got a lift back with my mate. And the next morning I said to my mate, like, look, it's low tide, just take me down to the beach and I'll see if I can find it. He's like, man, you're never going to find it. It could be anywhere out there, you know, anywhere. And he drove me back, drove me down to the beach, and I walked out. And my mate didn't even bother helping me. He's like, "This is just stupid. You're never going to find it." And I walked out like miles out, and the sand's just so shallow, sloping out. And I just walked out, and I saw this little ribbon. It was my fucking key. I just walked right out in a straight line onto my key.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that should be a podcast.
True key finding. Stories.
The keys, the missing keys. You know, they all have some bland name. The staircase, the missing key.
Yeah.
I hate how they just make it like a 17-part documentary, though. Like, I quite like a documentary be like an hour and a half.
No, you know what's cool? There's one called The Worst Roommates. And
I watched that one. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that guy, man, I love it when you start to sympathize with a murderer. You know what I mean? they're the bit, because that one I was like, man, these women are just like, are they mental?
Yeah.
Are they mental? Like, letting this guy
Listen,
move in.
Why would you, as a woman, move in to a room with a dude? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Don't have anything to do with men.
Yeah.
And wear a headscarf.
Do not move into a room with a male roommate.
Especially not a weird guy.
Yeah.
What
Some
did
stranger
this
that
guy
you
do?
meet
What did he
on online.
Yeah. He's got some sort of, always got some sort of sob story.
Yeah.
And then
They seem nice at first, but then they turn into absolute animals, man.
But that guy was, and remember the last, but I think because wasn't he dating the women and then moving into their house and then basically being a cuckoo and they couldn't get rid of him?
Yeah, he was a squatter. He would just say, and then to be completely creepy and shit.
He'd start
bossing them around.
He'd start dating them, move into their place, like, and then just wouldn't leave. And then you can't actually. Once somebody's officially in your place.
Yeah. The laws for squatting are crazy.
Yeah, you can't kick him out.
Once they have a letter that came to your place using your address, you can't kick them out.
Yeah.
Madness.
That is mad.
Yeah.
And he would just completely like move in, just not pay for anything, obviously, not pay any rent or anything.
Yeah. And treat
them
pets.
like shit. Yeah, they start like filling the place with pets.
Why do you just change the locks?
Because that's
You can't
against
do
the
that.
law.
That's illegal.
They do that, and then like there's one woman who, so she started dating him. He moves into her place, does all this, his MO of sort of like, being a dick and all the rest of it. So she changes the locks. She got kicked out of the place. The police, the authorities threw her out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We should all do it. Let's all do it, man. Rent's too high. Let's.
Is that still the law? Was this in the UK?
This is in America.
Oh, okay.
They should change those though, because that's crazy.
I think they did change it. There were squatters' rights here, but now you're not able to squat in residential houses.
Yeah, there's something about that.
Because I think basically people were buying a house, and in the few days before they moved in, people were squatting it, and then there'd be these people who basically just destitute after they just bought their first house or whatever. And but I think you can squat in commercial properties.
Yeah. Do you know what a destitute is? It's a whore with no money.
Is that what it means?
Where's Darius?
He's in Mykonos, and he's got 0.24 upload speed on his thing, so it's.
So he's not going to be able to join.
It's going to be pointless.
So it's faster than his Edinburgh internet.
Yeah, it's not good. It's got a 9 download and then 0.24 upload. I'm like, mate, I don't think it's even going to be worth it. Like, and it's not working anyway.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Darius is off in Mykonos. Is it Mykonos?
No, Santorini.
Mykonos is
Santorini.
Is that the gay one? A bit more of a gay one.
Lesbos
Lesbos
is the. I mean,
lesbian one.
Probably it's got to be.
Is it?
But Mykonos is the one that everybody, all the like Instagram influencer girls were going to. I remember like 2 years ago. Mykonos.
But yes, Santorini is the new one because everyone on Instagram is posting their Santorini pics.
Santorini is like the white picturesque.
Yeah, the white one.
It's very photogenic. It's in a sort of all volcanic rim, and it's all the blue,
white and
blue houses. Going up the steep.
But there's no beaches. I went there.
Is there no beaches?
It's not really a big beach because it's all volcanic rock.
Right.
So it's not really the most beachy place. But it's like all of it is like nice restaurants in a cliff.
But there's water.
There is water.
Yeah, 7%.
But it's no sand.
But no, there was this cool clip I saw on Insta where this person had like an apartment built right next to the water, and the water would actually come up into the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, that room wouldn't have, stuff that could get damaged.
You wouldn't sleep on the floor. You'd have a bed frame.
I mean, with rising sea levels, I'm not sure that's the most prudent investment. Yeah. But then saying that, all of these world leaders are buying fucking properties.
Man, everybody who says, "Oh, we've got to stop climate change. Oh, it's going to be such a problem. Sea levels are rising." They're all buying houses at sea level.
Property,
yeah. But I don't know if it's that or if it's just on a water table. But like, that does seem odd to me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like
the Obamas have all bought in Miami or something, haven't they?
Yeah.
No, what's it called?
Martha's
Maine.
Vineyard. Maine.
Yeah, out in Maine or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So what's going on with Russia? You were talking about this before.
Man,
are they going to war?
Russia has just announced mobilization. I don't know if it's officially announced mobilization, but basically that means they'll be able to. It'll be an official war because obviously they're getting their asses spanked at the moment. They don't have enough manpower, and nobody really wants to go and fight. So they're going to like bring in conscription. The thing is, this will be really unpopular. This is a sort of. It's an escalation by Putin, but with his own people, because he's increased the sort of suppression of dissent in Russia. He's made it much more of a sort of totalitarian state. Their last remaining independent newspaper, Novaya Gazeta, or whatever it's called, it's been shut down. The leader of the opposition, Alexei Navalny, is in prison. But if they bring in, everybody sort of puts up with it because it's not really affecting them personally, but mobilization. If people get conscripted, because if me and Nico were in Russia, Russian citizens, we'd get conscripted. So would you. And then, our mums, our wives would be like, well, wait a minute. Actually, our wives might be like, yes. But yeah, people would be pissed off.
Okay, cool. This is going a bit far. But is there any like, what is the West betting on? Are they betting on someone sort of just usurping Putin and sort of going, all right, this is enough.
Well,
You've gone too
Putin
far."
doesn't really act irrationally. He makes mistakes, but he generally acts. He's not a Kim Jong-un, so the West is better than him realizing that the war is a terrible idea. It's not bringing him any benefits. In fact, it's making his position.
So you don't think he
tenable.
can see that right now?
Man, I think he's driven by ego and hubris, and a position in history. That's why.
And isn't that irrational?
It kind of is, yeah.
So he does act irrationally.
Yeah, you know what? He does. He does. Yeah, this whole war is very irrational. Except, he's got people. He's right at the top. Everybody's blowing smoke up his ass. He's the leader of Haringey Council. Everybody's telling him that things are going great. And they told him all this stuff. And so he was like, oh, yeah, great. He's probably still not getting the full picture of the war.
Is he not on the
So he's
Telegram
surrounded
groups
by
like you?
yes men.
Surrounded by yes men and people who blow smoke up his arse and people who then steal all the money like he does, and that's why it's not getting through to the Russia's supposed to have this modernized military. They've spent all this money on it, but the money all gets grafted away, and they're putting cheap Chinese tires on the trucks, and then the trucks were just getting bogged down in mud, and the tires were breaking and stuff. But I think it's a resurgence of Western liberal democracy and shows the success of free market and free speech and people being treated as individuals, because Western military, the actual military units and right down to the individual soldiers have a certain degree of autonomy, and they can do. They've got the mission, they've got the mission focus, but they can do whatever's fits the situation they're in to achieve that mission, that military goal. Whereas in Russia, the military is Russian society and economy, everything is very top down. Orders get passed down the ranks. Nobody wants to do anything that doesn't, they haven't been told not to do, because they'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
You can only get in trouble if something goes wrong. You don't get any thanks if things go right. So, people just wait for the orders.
So what you're saying, how is that different to the American military?
American military have got a lot of freedom and autonomy to do.
But if the general says this is what we're doing, you still got to do it.
Oh yeah, you've still got to do it. But I mean, in a battle situation, you're not always in. The line of command gets disrupted. But you've got the mission, and that's why the Ukraine break through the lines in the sort of northeast. They took the Kharkiv and Izium and all that recently.
You could be making up any word now, and I'd be like, they took over the Toys R Us region. Yeah,
but this is the same thing that's bringing down China as well. Like the Chinese economy is being calcified by the fact that it's becoming more of a sort of top-down autocratic. Almost like a centrally controlled economy, a classically communist economy instead of a sort of modern free market economy where everybody's an individual acting in their own best interest, which turns out to make a much more efficient.
Yeah, but there's no true free market though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no absolutely free market,
so.
but we're certainly a lot freer in this country than China is.
I guess to a certain extent.
We've got. Speaking of communism, we've got Darius coming in here with a message to the Three Speech listeners. Greetings, Three Speech listeners. Alas, I cannot join you today as I am holidaying in Greece to relax.
Who did he get to write this for him? This doesn't sound like Darius.
I think his child. To relax, recuperate, and reflect on the year that has passed and the year ahead. Is he dying?
What's he talking about?
Has he got cancer or something?
Why is he a 1920s poet now?
What's he talking about? A year ahead and a year past.
Had I have been in the studio, I would have liked to discuss the following: the Little Mermaid being racist as being recast as black. Sorry. Dash. Who gives a fuck? It's a kids' movie. You nonces. Brackets. Wait for Mooch to defend his noncery. Martha's Vineyard welcoming immigrants into your neighborhood, and the terrible upload speeds in Greece. So that's a message from our nasal leader.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we should talk about the Little Mermaid. That's kind of the topic that is on a lot of people's lips at the moment.
Yeah.
With the live action version being played by a black actress.
And so some people are saying, well, this is, she's white in the film. Why can't she be white now? But it's 2022. Obviously she can't be. But and other people are saying, oh, that's racist. You saying
I've heard
you
some
still be
interest-
white is racist?
I've heard some gingers saying that they're being erased. like
Ginger erasure.
Well, there's not many.
That sounds like a Scottish
there's
80s
not many,
tribute band.
Yeah, there's not many ginger lead roles and stuff, and they feel they've lost one.
Mooch, do you feel erased?
No,
Do you feel aroused?
yes.
There was an interesting post that Darius had actually retweeted,
Oh yeah.
and the person was saying that the production companies or the people who doing the film
Yeah.
are actually stirring up this type of what do you call it? Not controversy because it's good for publicity.
Yeah, it's free publicity.
Yes, and that they know it's almost like race baiting because they know the racists are gonna get annoyed, and then the woke people and then they have themselves covered, saying that the bad reviews are just because of racist people.
Right, yeah.
So they're kind of not doing it on purpose, but kind of doing it on purpose to
I definitely agree that there is some sort of just sort of being a bit of a using this controversy as a catalyst for your marketing is definitely something that is discussed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, cool, we'll do this.
Yeah, what if we put this person black or Chinese or whatever to stir up some controversy and get it?
In the same way that fashion houses didn't they wasn't there like a problematic Gucci jumper or something like that?
Yeah, they had one with there were several things.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of those things that it gets column
Everyone
inches,
talking about it.
It gets people clicking on things, and they see it and people are talking about it. And don't get me wrong, they will lose a certain amount of customers from that, but it's still an aspirational brand that people are talking about, and it's staying in the zeitgeist of people's minds.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely truth to that. But yeah, I couldn't give a fuck if the Little Mermaid was black.
My culture is being erased. This is
Your mermaid culture.
Yeah. What pisses me off is woke people are like, oh, European culture doesn't exist. Like white European, it's not a race, it's not a culture. You've got nothing, you're shit. You should just fucking lie down in the ground and die and let
in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods where nobody will find you. And they say
Wait, no, actually no.
They say we got no culture, and then we do have some culture, but then they change it to a black person, and it's like, well,
I don't think mermaids is a culture.
No, but it was made by Walt Disney, one of the most famous Nazis of all time. So
No, I mean it's who gives a fuck? I've seen videos of little black and mixed race girls, like their eyes light up, go, oh, she's like Ariel's like us.
But it's like Nico was saying last week about watching Bruce Lee and sort of identifying with it, because growing up we watched me and my mates would watch the A-Team, and we'd all want to be B.A. Baracus because he was like the best one. He was the toughest, he was the coolest, and all the rest of it. He was the funnest.
Unless he was flying, in which case he was a bit of a pussy.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, oh, we can't. We didn't even think about that.
And years later, when you cosplay as him, everyone's angry.
But yeah, no, I think we shouldn't be making an issue of these things anymore, but they play on it, and having society divided amongst racial lines suits the elite or the people in charge. The
marketing people at Disney anyway.
Yeah, but also the people who, they're more like ordinary people who have more in common regardless of skin color.
Yeah.
Who are being exploited by the higher ups and the elites who have all the money and wealth. But it's in their interest to keep us divided along race, religion, sexuality,
Yeah.
And we keep fighting against each other rather than looking at and saying, yo, we are being fucked over. We don't have job security like before.
Yeah.
We don't have, proper pensions like before. We don't have proper house prices like before. We got nothing going for us like how our parents had job security, could buy a house and all that. All that shit has been eroded, but we over here fighting with each other. Oh, the mermaid is black, or this person is trans, or this person is white, or whatever.
Yeah.
So the real thing is that the real division is amongst the haves and the have-nots, but the people at the top know that and keep us distracted about, oh, this is a Muslim person doing
Divide
this.
and conquer.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
That's what Putin uses to make, to suppress the opposition in Russia. He keeps people divided.
I thought he just throws them in gulag.
That's a way of dividing them.
Yeah,
He puts them in
divide them from
different
other people.
gulags. But one thing I did think, over the last couple of years, it's all, the Black Lives Matter thing was, I can't breathe. And then they're putting a black woman under the water.
I have enjoyed the memes. Like, I do think there's some funny memes that have come out, mostly racist, which is kind of, funny to me. Like,
Is that your favorite type of meme?
yeah, 100%. I mean, like,
let's see some.
it's breaking down stereotypes that black people can't, swim, or it's a bit. Ariel has a father figure in her life. That's different. I thought the best one was
You're not supposed to laugh at this.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying, like, always.
Trevor Noah did one. It was essentially like the Little Mermaid being black shouldn't be an issue, and it's taken away from the core story of the Little Mermaid, which is a young woman fundamentally changing her core identity to please a man. That's the message that this story is about.
Yeah.
I never even actually watched The Little Mermaid.
So have you not?
I need to watch it, yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen the original.
it's great. It was one of the first. Like, that was the first record I bought. The Under the Sea, the Little Mermaid remix.
Fucking hell, if you're a kid in 2022 and that was the first record you bought, you'd be getting Transition next week.
Yeah, probably.
How old were you?
I don't know, fucking young. And then
21.
to be honest, I went from one extreme to the other. The next thing I bought was the Gladiators album. Which,
Right, yeah.
So
Bit overcompensating.
yeah, a little bit. Now I'm looking into it. Oh, we were thinking about a Patreon episode that we should definitely do. Which
Live.
yeah, is we should get therapy.
Yeah.
We should all get we should sign up to BetterHelp, and we should just do like a therapy session where we just do a prank therapy session for each of us. Well, Darius is really what we want, but
I think it would backfire. Like, try and prank the therapist, and then like within 5 minutes you'd be like crying.
I'm just no one loves me.
Uncover some serious trauma.
Well, we're making progress here.
I did this acting course one time. This the Meisner technique.
I think I've heard of this. Is this the sort of like where you live it, like sort of like a real thing? Maybe not.
Well, you're
Method acting.
Method, yeah.
No, it's not method really. What it is, well, I did the intro course type of thing. So you stand opposite someone, and it basically is to get you to be like your real self and get your head empty and to experience the raw emotions of a scenario. So you would start off and you would go like, I'll say to you, your shirt is green.
Yeah.
And then you say something back to me like, your shirt is white.
Your shirt is white.
Or something like that. Or, or whatever my jumper is, or my eyes are beautiful.
You're not wearing a jumper.
Or,
I'm not saying your eyes are beautiful.
Well, something like...
Stop trying to make me say your eyes are beautiful.
Something descriptive like that.
Right.
And we would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
Till then, eventually we'd be so... That kind of like quiets the mind or whatever. And then the raw emotions that come up would taint what we're saying.
Right.
So then you almost sometimes get shouting matches.
Yeah.
Your shirt is green and different stuff like that.
So you still carry on with whatever you're saying is sort of banal and surface level,
Yeah.
but
But then it
gets
becomes
infected with
colored. It becomes colored
Ooh,
by...
I don't think you can say that.
it becomes colored by the emotions that you're experiencing.
Yeah.
So it's just, and you're just sitting watching it, and some people break down crying and shit, like your jumper is green. Ah.
I think that's a lot to do with the type of person who takes an acting class.
No, but I'm watching it and I'm like, this is absolute madness. This is crazy. This is insane to me. And then I go up there and I start sniffling. I'm up there like, your belt is blue. But the guy who does it, he's a boss, man. He's really good. A guy called, I did some private classes with him. He's a phenomenal teacher. His name is Gary Condes. But yeah, and
Was that to help with your stand-up, or did you?
yeah, you know what it was? I saw this interview with Chappelle. Was it Chappelle or Chris Rock? One of them. Oh no, it's Chappelle. Chappelle said when he was 14 and he first went to the comedy club, the guy told him, yeah man, you're good, you got punchlines and whatnot, but you go and do some acting classes. So go and do some acting classes, it's going to help with your stand-up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
because Chris Rock's got that crazy emphatic, like real passionate
Chris Rock
delivery.
is more of a, he studied the American preachers.
Yeah,
his style is a preacher, Southern Baptist.
Because he's got the same, like Sam Kinison had the same. Sam Kinison, I think, either used to be his dad was a preacher.
He was a very religious man, even till he died, apparently.
Yeah. God should have fucking spared him. But yeah, he had that same, like, you know, like Pentecostal screaming.
Yeah, and the repetition, the use of repetition.
Right, yeah.
You still see it in Chris Rock's style today.
Yeah.
Like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Like before
I know what
he
he's saying
punches. I don't know,
I know
what I was
what
saying.
bit that was.
No, I wasn't. No, you're just racist. But that wasn't it. I know what you're thinking about. But so yeah, no, Chappelle, the guy at the comedy club told Chappelle to go and do some acting classes, and he went and did some and whatnot.
I want to do
So
some
I
improv.
took that advice.
Yeah.
Have you done improv classes or anything?
I've done some improv, yeah.
Yeah, I did some improv, and I did improv classes are quite good for getting you like in the moment and not thinking about what's coming next. And because I think, you know, especially when you're early on in your career, you're sort of so welded to your sort of script. You need to get off that. And I think the more you sort of do stand up, the more you get to talking and your authentic voice and not really talking to a script, if you know what I mean. But I did a clown course as well.
Yeah, everybody was doing clown, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people were doing clown, for a while.
There's that
How was it?
Gaulier school of clowning in Paris.
The Gaulier,
which is
this wasn't
crazy expensive.
This wasn't that. Yeah, man, every posh female stand-up has done that Gaulier course, but I don't know if it really helps. But yeah, this was because what's his name? Dr. Brown stayed at when I lived in a warehouse. He stayed with us for a
Doc
bit.
Brown.
Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, there's two. You thinking of?
I'm thinking of
there's
musical
two
guy.
Doc
No.
Browns.
No, okay.
The guy won the Perry Award for like best show.
Okay.
But he does it's wordless, like, and sort of, man, it was really good show, and but no speech, and it's all just like acting stuff out, but really works, and he gets audience involvement and stuff. But yeah, I did the course with Red Bastard, and it was, I only did it because like my flatmate was ill, so she couldn't
This
go,
guy?
so I got to go. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, and how was it for you then? Did it improve you?
I don't know if it improved me, but I think it's good to sort of, you know, I think it can definitely loosen you up.
Well, there's an argument at clown, like, because it's all about it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Yeah.
And there's definitely comics out there who, you know, it can just be like a facial expression. That's where the funny is.
Yeah.
And they really encourage you to you know, use the stage and try and emote laughs without any words. And if you can add that to your stand-up,
Yeah.
then it's another, you know.
And I think we forget how much our faces are important when we're like, because sometimes you sort of forget that you're visible, if you know what I mean. You're just talking, but actually people can really see your faces, so it really matters. And I think when people stand-ups talk about how a bit gets stale. So a bit that used to be a total banker gets stale. Or sometimes you've got an idea for a bit and you do it, and the first time you do it, man, it crushes. Like I had this with a bit about pronouns. I had a bit, and it totally crushed it. Yeah, it totally crushed the first time I did it, and it was at the backyard. It was in front of all these young people and stuff. So it wasn't just that they were older and they hated the pronoun stuff. It was like young people got it. Young people who had pronouns were laughing as well. But since then, it's sort of not been as. And I think it's because it was new. It had that sort of. So my face was all
excited about it, or not sure where it was going. Yeah, no, I 100% get that. When you've done something 1,001 times, you're not selling it.
Yeah, you're just dead behind the eyes. You're like that trout in the fucking Morrison's seafood cupboard that's been there too long.
I was like, where's this analogy going?
I'm 70% water.
It's David McSavage is good at that type of stuff. The playing with the audience and using his demeanor or his body or facial expressions to evoke laughter. He's very good at that. And
not filling every moment. I always get that thing, you got to be filling every moment. And he stops and makes it awkward and breaks the tension.
Yeah,
it's really
good. Playing in the silence. He's really good at that.
You saw, you popped it in the group the other day, Sam Campbell?
The Australian. The guy who just won
you said he was phenomenal.
He's hilarious. He was at Top Secret crushing it. He's a very funny guy. I have no problem with him winning whatever it was. He's a genuinely funny guy. But back to McSavage, him and Russell Hicks are my two favorite to watch.
I'm right here.
But McSavage, sometimes he would tell a joke, puff on his vape thing and do a shrug, and it would get a silly exasperated type of flinch or reshuffle, and it would get a laugh, and then he'd set up a joke and intentionally let the punchline hang as well, whereas we would say the same thing, set up punchline, boom, in the same rhythm all the time. Sometimes he just set it up and leave it there, and then the audience would kind of fill in the blanks. Massive laughter. He's so good at playing. He does this joke. He goes, he said, you're laughing now. So a woman would be there with him, and he's like, you're laughing now. And the great thing is that laughter releases the same kind of chemical reaction as an orgasm. So in a way. And just leave it, and it gets a massive laugh. Yeah. So he doesn't even say, finish it with the orgasm. He said, he can make you laugh, but I can do it for much longer, kind of thing. But yeah, he's a master at that thing as well. Stephen K. Amos, he came down one night and just absolutely destroyed the place, and it was masterful watching it. I had seen him on telly before, and I was wasn't sure, you see, TV comedy is just so bland and shit. It's I've seen his performances at the Apollo, and you think he's good, but then you see him live and you're like, wow, this man is a master of the craft.
Yeah, I saw him
he's a killer, man.
On Saturday, I went down to the Greenwich Comedy Festival and he was hosting it, and it was effortless.
Yeah, that man, that was the best celebrity performance I've ever seen at Top Secret. Hands down, and by a wide margin.
Right, jeez.
I was like, fuck me, I didn't know this man was like that. That man's a killer.
Yeah. It's funny, you often, the stuff that people get famous for isn't their best stuff. Like Michael McIntyre, I saw him live, and he was doing, really sort of, especially when he was warming up the crowd, he was doing really sort of edgy, much edgier than you see him do on TV, and risque, and it was really funny. Man, he was great at doing the crowd work. And then he went into stuff that he was practicing for TV or whatever for his tour, and it was much more sort of just you could see the boundaries were there, and he's
these are the parameters I've got to joke within it for this audience.
And I get why he's got those boundaries there, because it's then he's going to make more money, because anybody from 8 years old to 80 years old can go and enjoy it. But man, you can sort of see how good he would be if he just let the shackles off.
Well, they say that he used to just murder at the store. It was, phenomenal. But then what you get on TV is just what the producers have sort of shackled him up to do.
Yeah. And he used to do jonglers and all that. He used to do the same sort of gigs as we do on the circuit. So his autobiography is really interesting.
Didn't they say that like he was really like poor and struggling at one point?
Yeah, he was in loads of debt. And his dad, so his dad was like a TV producer. So even though he seems posh, like his parents were working, and his dad was a TV producer, worked with Kenny Everett, and then went across to LA to make it there. But then it didn't work out for him, and then he came back sort of, I think he lost his money, had a heart attack and died and stuff. And it was really sad. And so Michael McIntyre was heavily in debt. His wife had a kid or 2 kids or whatever, and so it was looking tough for him. But then he had a star agent, Addison Cresswell, who founded, I think it was Off the Curb. So Addison Cresswell was his agent and got him like the Royal Variety Show or something like that. There was some like thing that just just popped, and that was it. He was huge.
And they said that's what happened with Kevin Bridges. He did Live at the Apollo, and then bang, he just sort of he popped. You don't really see that as much these days.
Yeah, but that's a big show. Of course, you're supposed to pop after Live at the Apollo.
Well, it used to be a big show, but viewing figures are down like loads since its heyday.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really have, because I think there's less eyeballs on it, and it's there's more opportunity for people to discover other people.
Yeah,
and it's like, whereas it's like radio used to be cool. If you get a radio plugger and you're on Radio 1, that tune is probably going to be big. Yeah, because that's what is going to be on that playlist that gets played 8 times a day, and everybody
listens to it. Because it's not like there's internet radio and like millions, and everybody just choosing their songs on Spotify or whatever. Everybody listened to Radio 1, but now
I wish comedy was a meritocracy in this country.
Yeah,
I think it's getting.
I wish it was. No, it's going further away. It's going further away from meritocracy. If you look at the lineups
for Live at the Apollo,
yes.
Name names, Nico. Who do you think's not? Who do you think's not worthy of being in there?
There's some people I know that don't have a 20 that are in that lineup that do not have a strong 20. I ain't calling no names, but you know who you are. And the fact that people like Jeff Innocent aren't on Live at the Apollo.
That is crazy.
The fact that people like Alistair Barry came down to Top Secret the other day and did 20 minutes on the Queen royal family, brand new and murdered. And he could have only had written that like...
I don't know, Alistair's quite old. He could have been the last monarch, last Queen Elizabeth that died. He could have used
that could have only been written like a day or 2 ago. And he absolutely, the type of response from the crowd, like killed it with all brand new stuff. Someone like him should be on Live at the Apollo. Them guys that like Jeff, Alistair.
I think somebody like me should be on there.
Well, even you better than.
What do you mean, even me?
Better than some of them people on that.
Some of them. Even I am better than some.
All right, yes, you are genuinely, but I mean, yeah, it's just a sad that people like people aren't getting the chance they deserve. Like there are other comics out there as well.
It's not the chance anymore. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Is like, fine.
No, but still, some people who don't know better. There's some people who are still watching TV comedy thinking that's the cream of the crop. Yeah. If you're on Live at the Apollo, you must be the best of the best. It's still, even though it's waning, there's still some people who are TV comedy people and believe that what they're seeing, that TV is the pinnacle. And unfortunately, it's not the truth.
But that's because I think that's you. And
no, it's not me.
No, it's our generation is kind of the last generation of that. Do you know what I mean? Where we, but like 20-year-olds these days do not know what Live at the Apollo is because they're not really watching it.
Some do,
but like the majority. But like, whereas we grew up on it. Yeah. Like you go, okay, Mock the Week.
Yeah, but even then, it doesn't matter. It should still be a meritocracy. You should still be giving people who are genuinely funny club comedians that chance rather than signing up somebody who only got 10 minutes and putting them on telly.
Yeah, especially
pushing
just
them.
when it's sort of blatant box ticking with like, disability or whatever. It's like, like at least get the funny one. At least get, but it doesn't. They're just like, oh, they'll represent this particular disability or whatever.
Well, look, and it's you go, it's you go back to the argument. You got to have people on there for who represent a range of people on there, and I think that's what TV producers are looking at. And I know
but there are a range of people who do fit the, whether you want to call it diversity or whatever, who are better and more seasoned, who aren't getting the chances.
Yeah,
So that's the issue that I have, is that people who are genuine club killers, who are funny and know the craft, are being overlooked because they're not young, or for what they're working class, or they don't fit they don't have the right politics or whatever. So that's my issue with it, is that give people like Jeff and Alistair and Leo a proper chance to be showcased. That's my issue.
I agree with that, but I also we're in a time where you can do more on your own.
Well, yes, that is true, but still, it does not excuse one of the premier shows from not being a merit. It doesn't.
And also this whole thing of like, because everybody can sort of get on the internet. The internet has got, no gatekeepers. I mean, unless sort of you say something that gets you delisted by YouTube or Facebook or whatever. But the internet, allows anybody to sort of go and do it themselves. But then you only get the people who are like sort of motivated and productive doing that. And I think a lot of the really good comedians are lazy
shit. This is the point
shit.
I was going to make. Like, to be an artist that is self-sufficient, you don't have to just be good at your art. You've got to be good at marketing. You've got to be organized at scheduling. You've got to have your shit. You've got to be a full 360 marketing. And
the people who are good at all that stuff usually aren't that funny.
ADHD.
Yeah, they're not usually that funny. Because if you're good, if you could do all that like scheduling and organizing stuff, you'd get a job doing that. You know what I mean? I'd get a normal job if I could get a normal job, but I can't. So I've got to do comedy.
Even someone like Junior Booker, that man is hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious. But you'll never see him getting that shot.
Yeah,
because he doesn't fit that type of thing.
And but that's because he's like an authentic voice. Yeah. He's not like he's not just like another Oxbridge voice, but with a different skin color or whatever. He's like, he's a genuinely different
authentic dude, and he's hilarious.
Man, yeah, his Instagram stuff but he's doing well. He's doing well on Instagram.
Yeah. But that guy's funny, man.
Yeah.
And someone like him won't get the chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but man,
that's the issue I got, man.
Junior, last time I saw Junior was doing a bit about fun. If it reminded me of that thing about the guy who moves into apartments and stuff, because he was talking about getting women to pay his mobile phone bill and stuff, getting women to pay the bills when they come. I can't remember what it was, but it was really funny.
He got one. He says, I'm a feminist, a big supporter of women breastfeeding in public. Sometimes I even, encourage them to. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. Your son looks a bit hungry. Mouth looks a bit dry. I don't care if he's 15. Such a killer joke, man. The guy is genuinely funny, man. It's a funny guy, man.
Why don't we get him on the pod?
Yeah, let's get him on the podcast. He's funny.
Yeah. What else? There's this. What did Darius said? It's the Napa Valley, not Napa Valley. Where are they sending all the refugees, or the Martha's Vineyard?
Martha's Vineyard. So basically, because America's got a problem with open borders, and like loads of people coming over the border, and the border states sort of don't have they've got to deal with all of it. But like it's the states like Washington D.C. and all these places that people make the laws. So Ron DeSantis, who has a lot of new arrivals coming up from Central America or whatever, he shipped like 50 of them. He just stuck them in a bus and dropped them off at Martha's Vineyard, so that those people could get those people who support who say like, oh yeah, no, we should have as many. We should just have open borders and let everybody come here. And it's like, well, yeah, but none of them are coming.
You're protected from it.
Yeah. So he just he shipped loads
Is this
of them.
the dude, the cowboy?
No,
I don't know who that is.
Ron
That's not
DeSantis.
Ron
That's
DeSantis. Sheriff Xavier
Salazar.
Salazar. Sounds like a magician.
He looks mean.
So what did Darius say about it? Did he just
He just put that in.
he just put it in
Yeah.
as a thing for us to discuss?
Well, I mean,
Look productive.
so there was I saw something where the mayor of Chicago was backtracking, or something like that, and I think it was something to do with the fact that some guy from Texas just started shipping immigrants to different states, and they were like, "Well, we'll welcome people," and then when they got them, they were like, "Ugh."
Well, yeah, this is the thing, because they're trying to make all these states, like all these places, were trying to make a statement. Like New York was all like, "Oh, we're a sanctuary city. Of course, we'll welcome anybody who comes." But they were saying that because they weren't getting anybody.
Because they're nowhere near the Mexican border.
Yeah, they're nowhere near the Mexican border. So you know what I mean? It's it's like they didn't need to worry. It's like me saying, I'm not worried about getting eaten by crocodiles. I never fucking
It's
have any crocodiles come near me.
In Kent, I think that they've got a lot more of a stauncher attitude to immigrants than they do in Bristol.
Yeah.
Because they are on the border of the Eurotunnel and they see.
And they're coming across
Yeah.
in the dinghies and landing on the beach in front of them.
Yeah, and it's a bit more of a problem on their doorstep, whereas
Yeah.
it's easier to sort of go, it's fine, sure, when it's not really affecting you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not sure.
Man, there's Britain could solve its migration problem with one rule. Like if you come illegally, you revoke all right to stay.
But that kind of stops people. How do you say if you come illegally or not if you're seeking asylum?
Well, then where are they coming from?
I don't know. France?
So they're in France.
Yeah.
So why are they seeking asylum from France?
I don't know.
The problem is,
I don't know.
again, this is a problem of the haves and the have-nots. This is a problem where a lot of these places have been exploited for their resources or have been destabilized for whatever reason, and they've had wars and blah blah blah, and then the repercussions they aren't as nice. But I get what you're saying as well, in that why don't some of them stay in other European countries? Why, you know what I mean? Because
It's exactly the same
France, or you're going through, other Eastern European places to get here. You could stop in some of those places or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than everybody coming to Britain. You know what I mean? But a lot of the problems in some of these places are because they have been destabilized. It's been exploited. It's war torn. So then obviously you want to leave. And then also there's some people who do take the piss and who are perfectly fine or whatnot and just want to be an economic migrant or whatever.
Yeah, in Sweden, they found that the Iraqi defense minister was claiming asylum benefits in Sweden. That's how lax their system was.
Yeah, a lot of people do take the piss, but yeah, some people do genuinely need asylum.
Yeah.
There's always, in any situation, there will be people taking the piss. And that's the unfortunate thing. But I don't know. You can't also have unlimited, uncontrolled immigration for any country.
Yeah.
Because then it does destabilize things as well. So,
and also, man, people got to sort out their own countries. We did it here. We used to be, ruled by in this feudal system. It was horrible. We're all just eating turnips and fucking mud and having a shit time. And with the Magna Carta, we reformed everything. We developed Parliament, and we've been helping other countries like Iraq by trying to bomb a parliament, trying to bomb a sense of democracy into them. And did we get any thanks?
No, but we got oil.
Yeah, we did get oil.
we get
Also, apparently the West is getting most of the oil from Syria. We're getting 85% of Syrian oil because the Western supported rebels or whatever control the area with all the oil fields.
Is that going to help my gas bill?
It probably already is.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Have we talked about the Queen? Was it 10 days? So we had one app. Did she die last week?
I think so.
Did we talk about it?
I can't remember.
We must have.
I've got ADHD. But there's a queue.
She's now not 70% water.
Philip.
What?
Philip Schofield jumped the queue.
That is the worst thing he's done. If you're his wife, one of his kids.
Yeah, how come like when Philip Schofield came out and everybody's like, oh, you're so brave, you're so great. And it's like, if he'd have come out as like, oh yeah, I've been shagging the babysitter.
Yeah.
People wouldn't have been like, oh, you're so brave. You've really
Yeah.
been sticking your dick in that babysitter.
Yeah, it depends how ugly she was, really.
They were saying though that I saw on Twitter something. It was a young boy
Yeah.
What was a young boy?
that he was seeing. Or
Yeah.
something.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
How young we talking?
No, like old enough, but
16 or some shit.
Yeah.
16?
That's what they were saying.
What the fuck?
maybe this is an accidental non-defense here. Sorry.
This is what we were
Philip Schofield, are your lawyers aware of what these people are saying about you?
on Twitter. That I saw someone say that something about
Oh, okay.
they.
Well, that's good enough for
Oh.
me.
They were said that the guy he was seeing, or he got some gag in order or whatever.
A
Because,
gagging order. You got a gag on this. That's the order.
that's what on Twitter was posted, that not Philip Schofield being blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But the memes about him skipping the queue were hilarious.
Yeah.
Sean Walsh did a brilliant joke saying that Philip Schofield is actually inside the coffin now.
Did you see someone tried to rush the coffin?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
somebody. Apparently, there was a attempted jihad attack in Leicester Square as well, and 2 police officers got stabbed.
We just had a tweet. Sammy has said, "I have to admit, 3SP sounds like a gay boy band."
Yeah, it does.
That's what we're going for.
It's the only type of boy band.
Yeah, that's just a boy band.
Yeah.
I can't find anything on the age of Philip.
Well, let's see what, because other people have said stuff. Let's see before we shut down and do the Patreon one. Other people have said stuff about where the fuck? Why is all this? What is Darius sending through? Here we go.
No, hang on. Here it is. Kai Humphreys. Is he a comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kai,
Yeah.
Says Philip Schofield getting away with cheating on his wife with an 18-year-old boy he'd known for 6 years, then getting done for queue jumping is peak Britain.
And how many? Wow, man.
7,000 retweets.
Yeah, got a lot. So, is that
18-year-old boy.
18's fine.
Yeah, but he'd known him for 6 years. And
It's like Pablo Escobar getting done for a late library book. Hey, people on Twitter are funny, man. So how old is Philip
So
Schofield?
he'd known him since he was 14. No,
12.
12.
That's what he says.
fucking hell.
That's brave to tweet that, though.
Yeah, because that sounds.
Because that, you know what I mean? For this guy who's a comedian to tweet that,
Yeah.
How
lawyers
powerful do
might
you
be in
think
touch.
Philip Schofield is.
huh?
How powerful do you think Philip Schofield?
It's got
fucking
8,000
Lenny
retweets.
got blocked by him.
Lenny Sherman.
Lenny Sherman
Why?
got blocked by Philip Schofield. And I don't know. He had some big.
Lenny's another funny guy who you wouldn't see get a chance to go on
Yeah.
live at the Apollo. Another funny,
And he's different.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a different perspective, different, like, jokes.
very funny guy.
Yeah, so he I don't know how true this is because it was kind of like, you know, when people just make up these jokes for Facebook. He made a comment about Philip Schofield. It's all right, Philip. We know you're not a nonce or something like that. Philip followed him, and they started chatting online. And he goes, call yourself a comedian, blah, blah, blah. And then before Lenny could respond, he'd blocked him already.
But they were chatting.
But yeah, but I don't know if that's true or if it's just him making stuff up. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like not like, you know, like just embellishing a story or something like that.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a lot of that. People are doing that now. They're sort of like saying, look, what's the name does it every time someone dies? Who's the guy who only eats meat now?
Oh, Lenny, Louis Schaefer.
Louis Schaefer.
Yeah.
He does a thing every time someone dies.
Yeah, it's funny.
there's
Like a
little-
eulogy, like,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
how he
yeah,
met
yeah,
him
yeah.
and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, you met Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, yeah. I'll talk
We'll
about
save it for the Patreon.
the Patreon. The
So if you
Patreon
want to
only.
hear about Leo doing gash bombs with Jordan Peterson, you've got to pay us some money.
We didn't actually do gash
Shut
bombs.
the fuck
but
up.
But I got to drink champagne all night for free.
For free.
Great.
Wonderful.
I did. I opened for Axel up in Newcastle. That was fun.
How was that?
Axel who?
Axel Blake, who won Britain's Got Talent.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. Newcastle crowd lively. It was me, then Junior, then Axel.
Right.
It was a great crowd, man. Loved
Did you and Junior drive up together?
No, we all got the train together with
Right.
Axel's manager.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was brilliant. The crowd, I love Newcastle crowds. Brilliant. And
How many people were out to?
jeez, man, it was called the Time Theater, and it's a how much seater? Probably can seat like a grand.
Right.
But it was proper packed.
Yeah.
There were only a few seats in the balcony that weren't filled.
Right,
But
yeah.
it was proper packed,
Nice.
man. It was great.
Cool.
Good vibes. And Axel killed it, man.
Wonderful. Right. Do we have anything to plug?
No.
I am going on tour again. Doing another mini tour of the North. I'm gonna do Newcastle, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Manchester, probably Birmingham.
Yeah.
That'll be next year though. I don't have any dates, but look out for that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go on tour next year as well. I'm doing some Comedy Unleashed. I'm doing Comedy Unleashed in Leamington Spa and Portsmouth this weekend. And then next weekend I'm doing the Festival of Imagination in Ironbridge and a gig in Chepstow, wherever that is.
Cheapstow.
Cheapstow. Is it called Cheapstow?
Chepstow.
Chepstow.
There's a rapper from there. What's his name?
Not the...
We didn't talk about the legs,
What legs?
the lengthening. surgery.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, should we do that in the Patreon?
Okay, cool.
So yeah, apparently in Silicon Valley, people are lengthening their legs.
Stop giving away our Patreon episode.
That's a little teaser. People, not me though. I've already got very long legs.
I've actually got a swimmer's body.
What does that mean?
Long torso.
All right, Little Mermaid.
Shorter legs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what?
That's
I
a
thought
swimmer's
swimmers
body.
would want big, long arms and big hands and stuff.
I think the legs.
No. The length of the torso and stuff is longer, and short legs. So like, if you look at Ian Thorpe or Michael Phelps,
Yeah.
that's a swimmer's body. I have
Big
a swimmer's
lungs
body,
and small.
but a runner's body
Yeah,
is
long
longer
legs.
legs, short torso.
Right.
So that's why I was wondering why some people who were
White were beating you at 100
no,
meters.
who were shorter than me were beating me at long distance running.
Right.
But it's because they got longer, even though they're shorter than me, their legs are
It's one of the reasons.
longer. Yeah.
But, cool.
And also, I don't have great oxygen intake.
And you hadn't had a drink of water in 14 years.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Come catch us on the Patreon. Bye.
Bird gang,
Bye.
bird gang.
Zip zap.